No audio from DDT.
Probably grabbing a snack.
He might be. He might be grabbing a snack. That's right. He's trying to get it working. He had an issue this morning. He had to use a different mic. So he said he was going to get it fixed, but maybe not. All right, let's go ahead and give you guys the update on what we're seeing on the markets right now. I'm going to go here. I'm going to pull this to a different source because I've got it there. I need this on primary. There we go. Perfect. All right, guys. Let's go take a look at the charts and see what's going on here. This morning, we talked about this level here, this 382 at 115,572. And I said, look, we got a couple of things here that are stopping us from getting moving on, right? Piper Academy, what's up? Gary said, what's up, Jer? Audio is good. Appreciate you, man. So, yeah, we're watching this level here. It's a 382 on the fib. On top of that, we've got a quantum reactor coming in from Chart Prime. It has not yet turned red. That's a good thing. But you can see how much price action is respecting this this zone as a rejection. And so we really need to get through that if we're going to find a continuation of price action to the upside. I think that we're going to get it, but I will point out that despite money flow coming up and volume coming up, volume is kind of going flat here now. It's a little flattish, and that money flow that's coming to the upside could just be a zero line rejection and back under. We've seen that before where it will hit like here, and then it came back down again, right? Historically, a couple other times it's done that too here. Did it there, and all we basically got was a pump up, and the money flow came right back down again. So I am keeping an eye on these couple of things, but cautiously optimistic, as we said this morning on the show. So that's what I'm watching on here. I'll go ahead and allow DDT. Do you got audio yet? You guys had no audio that whole time, did you?
No, at all.
Not at all. Cool. All right.
Oh,
The audio speakers.
Listening you at you, yes, but no DDT. No DDTs.
Oh, okay. So evidently it was not broadcasting on to YouTube. So basically, guys, on YouTube, what I was saying here, I had it muted on here. First time with new day, first day at the new car. There we go. Yeah, I was watching this level here. If you guys aren't tracking, I was talking about the quantum reactor, and this morning we talked about that we were having this resistance line on the 382, but wicking above it, where this quantum reactor really needs to get broken. I do think we're going to get an upside move off of this, but volume is getting kind of flat here. Money flow is coming up, but it's could get a zero bounce. And historically, we've done that a lot. Like right here, we had a pump up. It hits into that zone of the zero line, and then down goes money flow there. So I'm watching that closely. I am cautiously optimistic at this point about the price action, but we really need to get through this level, and then I'll feel better. But one thing I am watching is that this quantum reactor doesn't turn red. If it turns red, we got trouble. Why? Because historically, once it turns red, it indicates that we are not going to come back up. And see how it's gray there? Wow. Gray there, that's this period of indecision. So what's that? DDT? Nope. Your mic was working and then it stopped, DDT.
I thought that was OC, no?
Oh, is that OC?
What?
No, OC's good. DDT, no audio from you yet, brother. Nope, nothing. All right. OC, hey, I'm going to let you... Oh, DDT, we got you, bro. What's up, man?
This is me, Baba Yaz. Hey.
Oh, it's Baba Yaz. What's up, Baba Yaz?
Oh, why can't I see the video on your screen on my Discord? Is there something I'm missing? I'm looking on my phone.
It's my camera.
Okay.
Yeah, go to my camera and you'll see it.
Yeah, I see your face. Let's see.
You see my face. You shouldn't see my face at all.
I don't see his face.
I don't see your face. I just see your, your
Try
emblem
click on that.
proposing.
Oh,
Let's see.
Mm.
I see the chart.
You see it?
Yep, everyone else sees it. You might have to restart. You can also watch it on the YouTube and then chat here, because it's all on there.
All right. All right, check it out.
Perfect. All right, so DDT is coming back up. OC, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to you. Talk about what you're seeing on the chart. If you got anything that you want to put out, I do want to go through all of the DCA levels for this morning for the DCA Piper plan for those that are not in our Discord. But our members, you might want to jump over into our Discord so you can get those, because that's one of the biggest value added that I think that we give. We still have $780 to go. Eric Wallet on Chainlink username is saying there, but yeah, let's go ahead, OC. Let's bring you up here. You going to turn your camera on, or are you just going to hide out behind your little OC symbol there?
Wait, I need to. I think I'm gonna stay in here for a second while I go through this first time, and then I turn on my camera.
Okay, sounds good, man. I'll go ahead and let you do your screen share, because I'm not sharing screen, so you can bring it up, and I'll bring it up here onto the display.
Absolutely. So here it is. Can you bring it up?
Yep. There we go.
Perfect. All
We're
right.
good.
Also, let me just change that. Let me see. Is that still visible?
Yep, we can see it.
Perfect. All right. So let's get started with Bitcoin, right? Right as we were explaining, well, we're having a little bit of a formation in here. We're below the dynamic reactor. We're bearish. Once again, we have a sell signal in here. Remember, we don't sell on the sell signal itself unless it is we have a big battery reaction like this one. But in most of the cases, just like in here, you have your sell signal and you wait for the retracement to actually enter or engage on the trade, right? On the trade. In this case, the same goes. So if you were not able to short this area, by the way, we shorted from here in most of the cases, because remember, we're looking for these higher highs, and then we have our very first signals of bearishness, a prominent low, right? So a low that is actually taking previous lows in here and then going for secondary or even tertiary lows right down there, right? So important lows. And then just to finalize this, we have a lower high. That is basically your entry, right? So as we have that, we have another lower low and another lower high, and then you could have just enter at any of those points. Nonetheless, if this happened, what was that? Sorry.
I was checking the audio on the YouTube. You're good, bro.
Oh,
go ahead.
all right. So looking at this, well, you can now start doing a little bit of a trend line right here, right? Let's actually expand that just for a second, and let's just change that settings really quickly to something a little bit less invasive, because it's already a little bit too messy here. So this is going to be the area where we're going to be looking for rebound. Another important thing is that we have dynamic reactors. So once again, we have our short opportunity right here, secondary opportunity, tertiary opportunity for shorting. Then coming back down, if you long this, you would have been doing it right with a stop loss as always, looking for those some tiny candles. We had some tiny candles, so it just went through, so losing that support. That is finally good if you got a stop loss in here. Then coming back down, another tiny candles there. That's where you start having your peak performance, your crossover of your VWAP, and all of these give you the signal to long it. All right, so or at least scoop some for your for the wallet. At this point, we have a rebound, and I was looking into the possibility for these to flag out down to the right, or in the worst case scenario, with a very or highly dangerous, highly opportunity to fail, or a highly dangerous trade, a break of structured trade. What is a break of structured trade? basically longing the previous highs. And as you can have seen right here, we are rejecting of that previous highs. So it's just now we don't have the confirmation for a break of structure. So be patient in here, because when you do a break of structure trade, you could absolutely buy in the top or the rebound. Remember, we short the resistance, and that resistance it's not specifically on your dynamic reactor, but it is between your dynamic reactor and your trend line. This is the area that we're going to be looking for the 4-hour short, right? So other than if we have a huge candle here, a big candle, maybe a retracement and a breakout, but I'd rather see that huge candle and then the retracement up here. That's going to be a continuation, basically following, and now we can actually do this another trend line like this, and you see that we have this support right there. All right, so we have two areas of entry if you are looking for a long. Basically we have the first one right here. If we have rejection, we have our entry somewhere around 112,160k, and then the next one after the breakout on the retest somewhere around 118,300 or 430 ish. Yes, I know waiting for this area for just taking a loan seems like a waste of time, especially because that would be something like a 4% trade, right? But remember that we have huge resistances, and well then, unless we have our flip of the ribbon, we're still aiming for a rejection at the dynamic reactor. You want me to go over a couple of other coins like SEC, UNI, Link, BNB, and LTO?
Yeah, in a little bit I do, but we have a question on YouTube from Jer. He said, "What's the difference between the dynamic and the quantum reactor?"
It's just a different equation. So both of those measure movements, movements on volume. So they show you where the most important area of volume is at, but the volume data is processed differently. To talk about a little bit more in depth with this, we will have to talk about code, but you know, like code is a secret sauce, so we can dive within that. But let me tell you this really quickly. When you need, and let's go, for example, like a meme coin, right? When you have a stable coin, like for example in here, let me clear this up so we have a clear perspective. You have the most important value area, which is your volume, right? Despite we hover back and forth, back and forth, back and forth over volume, which means ranging, right? We can also see how we reject at a volume or bounce off that volume, right? Look at that breakout, retest, continuation, breakout, retest, continuation, breakout, retest. Guess what might be coming? Maybe continuation, maybe create a lower high, and then continuation, breakout, retest, continuation, right? I'm actually expecting something like this. This is for your dynamic reactor. Something important, the smoothing, the post-processing to the volume, or the what would that the equation behind what drives this shape on the volume may not work in every single scenario, especially not in low caps. Like for example, let's go and take a look at I believe useless. Yeah, I think useless might be a good example. So let's go to useless here, and let's bring up our, oh no, it's still good. Let's go maybe to like the 5 minutes or something. Let me see if that I can force it. No, it's still looking great. Do you guys bonk maybe?
Still working like a boss.
Yes. Still looking exactly. And but let's see, maybe there we go. So guys, can you see the dynamic reactor in here? I can't. I actually can see it, but it's really entangled within the price action, right? Look at this. I need to really jump in, and that is because the amount of bonk out there makes it so difficult for it to get above 0.00000 something.
It's too little. Yep.
Yeah, it's too little. So the next immediate volume is just so weak that it's entangled with the price action. So this is the first case scenario of volume smoothing. Do you need a better smoothing, a more long-term, and this is the keyword, long-term scenario? All right. If you in this case need a longer-term scenario of volume indication,
can you throw the quantum reactor up on top? There you go. Perfect. You're already there. Look at you.
Absolutely. In fact, I was trying to get this example just to turn it on. Perfect. And we'll see that now your quantum reactor, and this is something important before you take it. We like, or at least I like, to have quantum reactor on chart, so what it was going to change with the time frame might change, and then have it on slow. Fast tend to be a little bit choppy, but it's totally up to you. So you have a more smooth
Yeah. So the
out.
difference on that, the difference on that fast and slow for people watching is that the quantum reactor on slow is smooth, meaning that it takes more of an average and not every single individual piece of data into its structure. So go ahead, OC.
Exactly. So now the difference comes in, hey, now your quantum reactor actually acts as your dynamic reactor because it's not so entangled based on the really crazy, I mean, you guys know that Bonk, it's a meme coin, so that's why it's just, I mean, their volume is just like nonsense, right? So when we have that kind of nonsense, right, with the volume, that's when you pull out your quantum reactor. This is the first case scenario. When your dynamic reactor, based on the characteristics of your meme coin, doesn't really work. So you pull out, you know, the most smooth out, different processed volume, right? It's not the same thing having, you know, like beef, having a steak cut out, or just grounded into a burger meat, right? So it's the same animal, it's the same meat, it's the same part of the meat of the cow, right? But just processed differently. And that affects both texture and flavor. So going forward in here, there's another added value to your quantum reactor, which you're going to be seeing in gray areas in here, and then green and red areas. Piper, I think you do a fantastic way to explain those areas. Would you like to take over for a little second and explain those 3 areas?
Yep. Let me shrink down the screen here. There we go. And then I will jump in and knock that out. Let me, there we go. Perfect. Perfect. There we go. Yeah. So let me come in here and I'll bring that up now. And yeah, let me bring it over to my screen share. Can you drop your screen share?
Oh, sure. Yes. I thought you were using the same one, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Screen share. Move you over. There we go. And now you got the chart. So the thing that I watch here on the chart, and let me bring this up for everybody. There we go. Perfect. Everybody should have that. And you guys can see my screen share there. What did that do? Oh, I see. I got to select a different screen. It's like learning how to ride a bike all over again. All new setup here. There we go. Now you guys have it. Perfect. All right. So looking here, the thing that I like to watch on the quantum reactor is, especially on higher time frames, and I'll try to break this all down for you, but I do want to get through the altcoins, and I do want to break down the DCAs for today. But for example, like here, we can see that this period where we were in red right here, that segment right there, that this was saying, hey, this is likely going to go lower. And it did, right? Just like here, it printed, hey, we might go higher, but when it comes down and breaks it again, nope, it didn't. It went to gray and said, we're trying to decide, we're reading the data to figure out, is this going to go up from here or down from here? And once it tested it and got rejected here, that's where it fired red, and that's what led to all of the sell-off. Same aspect here, it was in gray, and it did not fire until here. It turned green right there, right before the big run up. Okay. So it got other data that came in that said, I now have enough decision that I'm not indecisive. I got enough information to not be indecisive. Now I can see us going bullish, and then that's where the price goes up. And so when we break down beneath this and it doesn't turn red immediately, okay, that's telling you that this is likely, based on the little bit of data that's available to the algorithm to read, that this may not go lower. And you can see it actually ended up going up. Here, it turned green as soon as it broke it here. You can see that right there, and I'll stretch this out so you guys can see it turned green here. Yeah, we came back and tested it, but we still went higher, okay? Just like here, it went grayed out. We had a little bit of one here, but you can see that's why you use the dynamic and the quantum reactor together, because once it tested it, that was it. It shut off that red, and no more. Matter of fact, if I bring this in wide enough, you'll see a gray area right there underneath that arrow right there. It actually turned grayed out when it found support here. So it's reading other data and saying, nope, we're not going down further. Disregard, comes down, holds all this as support. Then here we go into the red, we get a retest, and that gives us, hey, we're going to be going down further. So this thing is, while it looks very simple and it looks like it's not really giving you much except for support and resistance, it's telling you a lot of stories. Okay. Grayed out here. Hey, this may not hold. And it comes back down even lower, right? Hey, we went below, but it may not keep going down. Found support, comes back up, turns green instantly, and there's your run, right? So you can get a lot of data off of this one single rhythm, which is why I said right now, I'm watching to see if this thing turns red. When it's purple like this, it's calculating data. It's reading, it's in transition. So it's reading all of the info right now. If this continues on, then this purple area will become gray. If it reads enough data to say, okay, we might be heading down, then you'll likely see this turn into a red quantum reactor, which would mean that we're likely coming in for even lower levels, okay? One thing that I do think will cause this to turn red will be a rejection of the dynamic reactor at 116,800 right now. If we reject off of that and come back below this, we will likely see the quantum reactor turn red at that point. So, but that's how that works. I hope that is easy to understand there. My Discord is playing app. I'm going to restart it. All right, DDT, sounds good, bro. Alex O Crypto. I don't care about the slaughter. I just want my steak, Alex O said. He's over on YouTube right now, guys. So awesome. That's great to him. DDT, I'm sending you the invite back up again, bro. Let's see if you are ready to come in here or not. And I will stop my screen share if you are. Let's see if DDT's got his stuff fixed here. Standing by for the DDT.
I should be.
We have audio, bro. What's up, man?
Tech issues of my life. Story of my life. Okay, things I really wanted to share. It was just this whole.
You're a little. DDT, your mic's a little choppy, bro.
Because I'm just using the internal mic.
Okay, now that's much better. Well, yeah, earlier it was chopping, like it was trying to process audio, but now it's working good. Nope. Now you're back to chopping audio again. DDT, I think your neighbor's still in your. I think your neighbor's still in your internet over there, bro. I'm getting no screen share and choppy audio.
Nothing I can do. Oh well, I'll post the links in Discord.
Yeah, your audio is great now.
I don't know what's happening here now, man. It's like tech issues. But anyway, I think that's me. I'll just listen in. But what I'll do is I'll post all kind of the links of stuff of what's happened in with this meltdown on Friday. But yeah, it's not. I don't know what the heck's happening with all the tech.
Try that. I just sent you a link to actually join my. I just sent you a link to actually join my eCam if you want. We'll try it that way.
Okay, let me try that.
Yep. All right, OC, what do you got for us, bro?
About what? What am I missing? Oh,
you got some altcoins for us?
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. Let's bring them up. All right.
All right.
Just a second. Here it is. Let me bring this to the other screen really quickly. There we go. So let's just go and take a look at the rest of the codes. For example, here we're explaining something about how to use smaller positions on numbers. So I got a request last time from Malik. He was asking, hey, can you explain what does that 1/4 of a position means? Can you make me maybe do it on numbers? So we went over that. So that's why you see all of these numbers in here. I need to leave this for a second because I promised him that we're going to be looking into it tomorrow. So let me just get kind of like rid of them for a second. Let me hide them. Not just get rid of them. There we go. I think that makes it a little bit of a better section here. All right, much better. Perfect. So let's get it. So something important that's happening on SEC is that we're having a bullish flag, all right? So we have the polling here, right? And we have the flag happening here. Something important is that we need to hold the inside of this area, especially these support. Let's bring up support and resistances, or in this case, predictive ranges. And there we go. We need to hold this area, and I know we're above, but we need to hold that area as we have either a peak performance diamond in here or at least some reversing or flip of the ribbon. So far, seemed like we wanted to make that push, but it is not happening, so we need to be careful about this. Another important thing that is happening here is that we broke or we regenerated another set of predictive ranges. And we have some targets. Our first target is, of course, the break of structure target, somewhere around 304, another one at 342. Let me bring up a couple of things that happened especially on SEC, right? I need to talk about this because, guys, it is very important that if we're going to be engaging right now, Monday, after that weekend volatility, that dump and pump that happened, right? Everything is still fresh. People want to get out of their positions. People that are already gaining momentum, well, then they're going to take some profits, all right? So we are going to have shakeout in the market. This is important. I gave a couple of trades hunting this, and I want you guys to notice this, and this is the part I wanted to get. Sorry to be so redundant, but here's the thing. Look at my first short, where it happened, and then it got stopped out here. Look at then that I have, and let me just get rid of this. Look at that, then I have a third short in here, and look that I got stopped out in here, right? And then look at that, I have a fourth short, and look at how well this short played out. All right, I have a maximum threshold on how many times I want to enter into a trade. That threshold is 3. All right, I will never enter more than 3 times in road, and that's a rule I need to have, and that is psychologically speaking. All right, my prediction turned out to be right. But right here, I want to take the example on this, and with your permission, because I think Olga mentioned this on the YouTube, right? So she did it publicly. So I'm going to take that example. She mentioned right here on this trade called out, hey, I have massive loss on your last short trade, all right? All right, so my first question was, all right, so how would that happen? How could that happen? Remember, we've been talking about, and you can go watch those videos, about a 1 entry equals 3% of your wallet. But something important, and this is what I start explaining to Malik, it is that we're not even taking a 3%. We're doing 1/4. So that means that 3%, and this is what I explained. Like, for example, let's just imagine that we have a $1,000 account, right? So let me bring this up. There we go. Let's imagine that we have the $1,000 account. A $1,000 account, a 3% equals $30. A 1/4 of that $30, it is 7.5 USD. So your money, the money that you're taking out of your pocket, it is just $7 in here, all right? But then you use a multiplier, which is your leverage, right? I tend to use 10x. So just for the sake of understanding, all right, your account might be a little bit bigger, might be a little bit lower. It doesn't matter. We're talking about percentages, right? So then you use a multiplier, and then you use, for example, 10x at 7.5. Then you have your actual volume being 75 US on this trade, which out of those 75, you're only risking 7.5. So how, I mean, I don't want to be mean or anything, but how would you have like big losses on that trade, right? And that is very important to understand, because here's where the responsibility of trading, knowing risk management, comes into place. If you don't know risk management, coming here, we're going to explain you, right? If you have questions about your risk management, please ask them, because it is one of the most important parts of trading, managing your risk. And let me show you. Even if we have a $7 loss, and then look at this. We made a 38% times 10x, 384% of $75. So it doesn't matter that you have one, two, or even three, $7.5, right, on loss. And let me bring up my calculator really quickly. So 7.5 times 3 equals $23 of losses when you make remember, you're doing a, what is it, a $30, no, sorry, a 7.5 times 300, or times 3, right? Times 3. So that means $67 in gains, minus your 23.4. That means that you have a 44.5 net gains, plus whatever increasement of your multiplier did. So you see how that important is, getting your stop loss set and having a risk management, because the point is you're gonna get stopped out. That is just the way it goes, right? But knowing when to stop losing, that's why I only have a maximum of 3 times or 3 tries per trade, right? And then, well, then multiplying, making that big wins that will cover not only for your 3 stop downs, not liquidation, all right, will multiply in X amount of number your gains, leaving you with big profits. All right. Having said that, we're getting ready for a possible bull flag. Our support and resistance, it is somewhere in between 241 and 223. So prepare for a possible SEC push up, right? The latest, if we start losing the 226 area, I think we're doomed, and we're gonna be going back at least to dynamic corrected 4 hours. Let me go check that out really quickly. Right here, we have the huge dump on Uni, basically getting way below into our areas of support. Now coming back up with not much of a strength, right? But we can still go for a hit to dynamic reactors. So keep your eyes peeled on this point in the 7.6. Here is how we're going to be trading this. First, let's bring up our trend lines. Perfect. This is it. This is a pretty weak trend line. That is fine. And the next thing we're going to be doing is waiting for a retracement. If we have this retracement and then we start moving upwards and we're still on the green and we're still above the 0 line in here, we're going to aim for a long position to 7.6. But if we just go straight to 7.6, we're going to be looking for a retracement there back to, well, you know the drill, at 6.73. And then we're going to be looking for maybe a dead cat bounce to continue our way downwards right there. So we have a loud order block, so do expect that maybe we get caught out in here, maybe some let's just say higher low. Like, for example, if we get into something like that, we will have technical higher low. All right, so it still counts. Just be aware that we have a loud order block at 6.25. So that's what I got on Uni. On SEC, and finally Link, we caught, look at how we caught that Link trade. That was fantastic, almost zero drawdown. It was spectacular, taking some profits. Look at that, very nicely. But the deal is the same. Remember, 1/4 of an increase.
Hey, OC.
Yep.
Hey, OC, how low does Link have to go before it resets and comes through the top of the price action to get to 800? That's the question we all want to know.
I know, to 0. I know. Oh man. We're not gonna get to 800 close. I mean, the amount of money that we need to inject in here is just not realistically possible for that to happen. Something like unimaginably wrong needs to play it out either in forex or in stocks, and then something unimaginably right needs to happen on Link to actually make that swap of value in between those. But so far, well, Link doesn't seem that shiny to me. I mean, if we actually talk about technology, Cardano would be doing that paper, because it's a way to store value, store contracts, store dude, there's so many things going on with the Cardano. It just explodes my head with that. But yeah, so far so good. I don't see anywhere close 800 Link, neither 400 Link, neither 200 Link. What I do see close might be a $50 Link. I don't know. That is in the round.
$50 link. You heard it here first,
Yeah.
folks.
You know what? Let's actually place
So-
that alert. $50 Link. Why not?
You should place the alert, OC.
Let's go.
All right, so I got DDT up here now on my screen. You guys can see it there on my camera. So we got DDT up here with us right now. Welcome, DDT. Appreciate you being here, bro. Yeah, no worries. Hey, we're running Discord with YouTube, and we're making it happen. It's okay.
No audio on
I think
Discord, though.
we got a lot of
DDT's
no audio on Discord?
Yeah. So can you do a mic check, DDT? Yeah, no audio on Discord.
I
from
can
DDT.
how about now? Try it now. Talk for me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Yeah, so Papa, if you just share the screen. So basically all I wanted to quickly go through is a bit more of the technical side as to why the kind of the escalation or the cascade happened. So basically, Binance control the price feeds for or most major exchanges, CEXs and DEXs, right? So one of the guys I follow is quite a good tech savvy guy in regards to blockchain and technology. Is a guy called Marty Party on X, and he kind of obviously has done a whole lot of different posts about this, and obviously I was following it because kind of it's something of interest to me. So basically, Binance control the price feeds. Basically, what happened on Friday is that the Binance price feeds went down. Basically, when they go down, it means the price of any asset can basically go to zero, or the price that gets sent from the price feeds to the oracles, to the other exchanges and the dexes is also incorrect. So the big thing with this is obviously something went wrong with the price feeds. They went to the oracles. From the oracles, they got sent out through to the other exchanges and obviously caused the cascade because the pricing information was wrong. So if Binance price is wrong, all the exchanges' price is going to be wrong. So that was the central point of failure of most of what happened on Friday. And obviously this affected Hyperliquid, which is something I'll get to as well at another point, because they were saying there was only 20 billion of liquidations that happened. But actually Hyperliquid themselves are saying they liquidated 10 billion by themselves. So how could that be kind of the case if Hyperliquid, not even the biggest DEX volume currently, they were liquidating 10 billion worth of trades? How could it only be 20 billion? So obviously Hyperliquid's case for this whole thing is that basically Binance failed us here, and that's why kind of we had the cascade. Obviously there was other shorting and there was other factors obviously that happened, and obviously the liquidations do happen because of the pricing failure, right, within the Binance pricing model or whatever it's called that feeds all the other exchanges. So that basically failed. That was a central point of failure. It caused everything to cascade with the liquidations on top of it. So when those prices fail, the prices obviously goes lower, kind of goes to zero or goes to whatever, goes to like a very low value. That will cause a cascade anyway in the order books. But then basically what happens is when the price is cascading as well, there's nothing on the other end to the market makers go risk off, and then they don't pick up the other side. So obviously, if there's heavy shorting, liquidity providers and market makers need to pick up the other end, but basically they don't. So that's why you get the cascade as well, because they like, we're hands off now. They wait for price to bounce. Another thing that kind of caused it, sorry, I might give a bit of a...
So no absorption on the other side.
No absorption on the other side. So it would just go until it can't go anymore. And everyone was like, oh, things went to zero. Like Atom was a good a case in point where like basically I think it went to 1 cent. So basically it allows just it to play out. But what happened is as well, this is one of the other exploits. So Binance have like liquidity pools, right? And so basically while this was happening, someone sold a hang of a lot of this USDE, this wrapped ETH on Binance, and this wrapped SOL on Binance on BNB. So obviously on their chain, you can wrap coins and obviously put it into a liquidity pool, right? So this is obviously like margin, coin margin, right? So basically what happened is with this, you get, you have to get balancing, right, in the pool, what's called impermanent loss. So basically as one asset goes down, you have to replace it with another asset to balance it on chain. So basically what this did is there was also a cascade on this, which basically caused Binance to have to buy or sell out of this asset and buy USDT, which also then brings price down, right? So obviously that's obviously bringing the value of USDT up. So for those that saw as well, like if you looked at USDT over USD, it went up by like 3%. I think it went to 1.03. So this was kind of the factor in regards to obviously pushing USDT dominance up, as well as pushing the kind of the cascade, and obviously causing, it's basically like selling an asset, right? Further sell pressure. Let's kind of be simple about it. So basically these three assets wrapped on Binance on BNB chain cascaded as well, which then had to be converted back to USDT. So it's basically selling an asset to USDT causes further cascade. So that was the second one. And then obviously the third one now is this underpin of, I did mention where Hyperliquid were like, the liquidation should be 100x more probably than what they're saying.
Yeah, and I saw that too. That there should have been like $300 to $400 billion actually, but the API didn't calculate it all or something like that.
Yeah. So also as well, the API only calculates a tenth or a hundredth of basically it throttles. So in times of distress, like we had on Friday, the API doesn't push data. Kind of, I think it pushes like 1,000 transactions a second. Where I mean, it should push 1,000 transactions a second, but it pushed like 1 transaction a second or something.
Right. So what that means for those watching right now on YouTube and in the Discord, that means that our 19 point whatever billion dollars in liquidations was actually just a small fraction. They actually think it was closer to 30 to 40 or 300 to 400 billion dollars in liquidations.
How can we have had 20 billion of liquidations when Hyperliquid have explicitly stated they've taken 10 billion of liquidations on their end?
Yeah.
So you're saying Hyperliquid's taking 50% of all the liquidations that happened on Friday, which is, yeah, it's a lot anyway. Like 10 billion is a hell of a lot of liquidations, but just one of the major decks is only taking 10 billion, kind of obviously further adds to the fact that the data was wrong. Obviously as well, the one thing that is also being mentioned now is the Clarity Act and the Genius Act will eventually circumvent this, because the pricing feeds, specifically when you've got players like the ETFs and the banks and everyone getting involved, they are going to want the pricing feeds to be a lot more stable. There'll be a lot more stability and a lot more reliability if the pricing feeds now move to CME, which is what I'm thinking will happen. So obviously with the CME or New York Stock Exchange or any stock exchange across the world, if there's any kind of something goes down, they just stop trading whatsoever, or kind of the price will regulate. There won't be big spreads, or kind of a difference between the bid and the ask, or kind of like a difference in price. So basically what this is going to do now is going to force the kind of CFTC, CME, all these SEC, all this, hopefully this gets raised as an issue to them, because this will cause kind of pressure on the ETFs and all those type of big institutional players with kind of the the games that kind of goes on in crypto. Obviously, we eventually, as the assets mature, there'll be less volatility. And I think this is kind of one case in point where you'll find quite a lot of kind of the SEC, CFTC kind of regulation and those type of things is eventually going to kind of whittle this down to basically almost, there will be volatility, but it's not going to be like a $400 billion cascade. So yeah, it was just kind of a whole cascade of issues, or yeah, big amount of issues. Specifically, number one is the price points, and then also as well the API kind of the constant price updates. So obviously it kind of continually updates was also very slow. So that caused all the big issues. And yeah, the market makers just went risk off. So they obviously didn't catch it until we got the wick. So if you look at like, just go to the 4 hour. But yeah, that's basically kind of all I had to say, kind of on the technical end. So, and this is the problem, right? So whenever we have these cascades, we've had smaller ones before. This was like a 20% wick, or 20% candle on the daily, or this is 4 hour. But it's just hard drawings. So for the most part, as soon as we started cascading here, the market makers didn't do anything, or liquidity providers didn't do anything. And when it started bouncing up and neutralizing, so if you look at like the 15-minute, if we go across, you'll see when price bounced, and then you see like here at 108, 107, 108 is when the market makers and everything kind of came back online and everything kind of subsided and went sideways. So that's why you see after kind of a big cascade, like what we see, usually you'll see sideways. Obviously, it takes a lot of players out the game, but kind of that's why kind of there's balance usually after these moves, or the range, sideways price action after them. So that's kind of how to decipher, obviously, risk off. And then obviously now the liquidity providers have come back in and all that type of stuff, and kind of the market's now balancing and kind of sorting itself out. So yeah, that's just kind of the technicals and kind of little things that I saw and have been looking into based on Friday. But
yeah, that's pretty interesting when you think about it, because at the end of the day, they said that there was this 19 point whatever billion, man, like 300, like it makes me wonder how much have our other liquidations been off in like COVID and so on and so forth, now that we really have a good understanding of this compared to then.
Yes, but also as well, there's a lot of exchanges that use the Binance price feeds, but look at something like Coinbase. Coinbase don't use Binance. Coinbase have got their own price feeds that they somehow use, or they use different Oracle service providers. Coinbase went to like 107, I think it was, and then like everything went to like 102 basically. Bitstamp as well have their own price oracles and stuff, so they also didn't go anywhere near like 102. I think they maybe have gone down to 105 or 106. But the ones that don't have the big wicks are basically the ones that don't use Binance. And also as well, specifically when Binance goes down, obviously it causes a cascade of all the other exchanges that use Binance. So there was a few exchanges that were actually kind of usable or available to put orders in when kind of all this shenanigans was going down. I think obviously Coinbase always goes down. It's just kind of a usual thing anyway. They just, yeah. But like Blowfin, I know didn't go down. I think BitUnix, I think, was still online. And I think
there were some people that were trading on Blowfin. One of my buddies, actually, Bobby Wong, he tried to trade on Blowfin, and it wouldn't take any of his trades. It skipped one of his stop losses. So they had some issues also. Blowfin didn't necessarily go down, but there were some people that said that they had some issues. So
yeah, so I know for a fact that Blowfin don't use the Binance.
Right, but they did have some issues on their back end.
You still have issues. Exchanges will still have issues because there's no liquidity providers basically backing up any moves.
Right.
So I know, like Jason Casper was showing yesterday or today or maybe over the weekend, he only managed to get into a trade on Bybit at like 106, 107 because obviously it also went down, and obviously there's issues that obviously unless you had a limit order kind of really at the lows or kind of below where the wicks went to, you didn't really get world of crypto trading.
Yeah, I want to go over this stuff here real fast. It's in our Discord chat here, but it says this was from Bob Yaz and it's from Kabisi letter. It says we've spent the last 10 months analyzing every single tariff development. Here's the exact playbook for investors. Are you guys getting an echo at all in Discord
No.
with me like this on? No? Okay, cool. It says we've spent the last 10 months analyzing every single tariff development. Here's the exact playbook for investors. 1. Trump puts out a cryptic post on tariffs coming for a specific country or a sector, markets drift lower. 2, Trump announces large tariff rate and markets crash to shake out weak positions. 3, dip buyers step in, but the head fake rally leads to fresh lows where smart money begins to buy. Step 4, after the market closes on Friday, President Trump doubles down on new tariffs to apply pressure. On Saturday, the target of the new tariff typically responds or comments. On Sunday, before the futures open, Trump posted an announcement saying he's working on a solution. 7, futures open on sharply higher Sunday at 6 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, actually, but begin losing momentum into the Monday opening, which we kind of saw today again, right? We saw that sharp open on futures last night. Nice uptick this morning, started to fade off and chill. 8, after the Monday open, the Treasury Secretary Bassett appears on live TV and reassures investors. And then it goes, number 9, over the next 2 to 4 weeks, various members of the Trump administration tease a trade deal. The trade deal's coming. Number 10, Trump announces a new trade deal and the stock market hits a new record high. Repeat from step 1 on step number 11, back to step 1. So part of our strong year-to-date performance comes from following this exact playbook in times of trade tensions. The U.S. is currently on step 6 with China. So interesting layout there. And thinking back, very accurate what happens. We see this a lot. This is not the first time that Trump has tweeted at market close on Friday, and then everything just over time, we rally back and you go, man, I should have bought the dip, which I bought the dip on Friday. I've learned from the previous times that Trump has tweeted. So, DDT, your thoughts on this this playbook? Do you think that this continues to hold strong and move to the way that it's been moving with these steps, or do you think that it's one of those? Oh, you think you know the game? Switch 2000 and something else comes along now. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's exactly the same thing that happened in July and probably in April as well.
Mm-hmm.
The playbook's repeating. He tries to play hardball and then kind of backs down to kind of get it. It's the art of the deal, in essence, kind of for anyone that's read the book or kind of knows kind of what he's doing. You bargain hard and then obviously you bargain down from a way of power, not bargain up, right? So kind of that's just him, how he is. And yes, it wreaks havoc on the markets because the markets don't like it. For the most part, we just got to kind of hope that I think once or if this tariff thing with China gets sorted eventually, if there is eventually kind of a resolution to it, then obviously I think the markets will be a little bit less volatile. But literally the last 3 times he's kind of had a big mouth in regards to China and the things kind of he's saying, like, yeah, take April, take July, take now.
Yeah.
It wreaks havoc. So I think the markets just want certainty, and obviously, hopefully, this by November 1st, they actually get it sorted and done rather than kind of just carrying on and kind of causing the volatility that it does.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Let's go over real quick here. DDT, I appreciate that update. That's what I was trying to get pan through this morning. But yeah, you nailed it. I knew there was an API issue that was 300 to 400 billion. We talked about that on X Marks the Spot, but I think you drove it home much better on what actually happened on Friday. But again, I manufactured price levels, and a lot of liquidity pushing from one side to the other from smart contracts without any buyers there to absorb it on the other side of the sell. So yeah, ugly. I want to jump in and talk about the Bitcoin and the Piper plan for Bitcoin and alts that we put out this morning. we have a lot of members right now that are watching that may not be getting this data that because they're not in the Discord, guys. This is the stuff that we put out here. This is at everyone. Good morning, alumni. Here's the Bitcoin DCA for October 13th. Wristband 50.9%, DCA times 2. And we put this out onto the charts for you guys. Into the Discord for you. We also have altcoins, and if you're not tracking that, we have Adam over here, Aave, Polkadot, Ton, Litecoin, HBAR, AVAX, SWI, XLM, Chainlink, ADA, Doge, Solana, XRP, and Ethereum. I did update this morning for you guys, just so you're tracking for the past few weeks. We've had a couple of primary alts telling us to take 30% profit. As we discussed in Monday's session last week, when this happens, look across all of your altcoins and decide if you should apply that signal to those that are not getting to those levels. So, for example, if Ethereum and XRP was saying, hey, we're at this 30% take profit, you might want to look across the board and go, should I apply this to my other alts? Or have they just not pumped yet? And there's a little bit of a risk that you're taking by not taking profit when you're starting to get the big players saying take profit, right? This can indicate that some alts are just clearly underperforming. Keep this in mind when seeing all the alt levels. So, and then we went into Ethereum was at a 1x this morning. It's at 68.2%. XRP is in a no DCA. It's still in its take profit zone of 30%. So I just wanted to break this down for you guys so you have a little understanding of what the Piper plan is. If you're not in our Discord, if you're a member watching this right now on YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube, you have access to all this. All you got to do is go into the Discord, link down below in the description, and connect your YouTube to Discord, and you'll get access to all this stuff every single week. This is our members only content. This is what your membership really pays for. I know all the emojis are cool, but that's what you get down there at the bottom. So DDT, I appreciate you coming up here. Let me go back here. Yeah, let me go back here and grab OC. OC, bring you up here. Appreciate you being here, bro. Let me go charts. There we go. Is that gonna work? There we go. What's up, OC? Appreciate you, man. DDT coming in and dropping some stuff. You came in. You got anything else before we head out of here that you wanted to show, or what? Or was that pretty much it? What you went over?
That is pretty much it. Today, Monday, we're not going to be pushing it too hard. Usually, today is a relieved rally of the weekend. So we need to wait and see what is going to be going on after today night, right? And then tonight, we're going to be looking at the first what is it happening, or the first hint, sorry, of where is this.
We do have a request for you.
What is it?
We got a request here in the chat. They asked to see some TA on Sui, Sol, and ETH. You don't have to do all three of them if you don't have time. But if you wanted to knock out one or two of those for Ozzy, he's one of our newest members. That would be great.
All right, give me 1 second. Where are those?
It's in the chat here on Discord. Sui, Sol, and Ethereum.
All right, let's go for Solana. That's the most promising.
All right. Bring up your chart.
1 sec. Looking for Solana. And I just have like 4 charts of this. Sol. Here it is. All right, perfect. Let me bring up my charts. All right, perfect. So this is Solana. So far, so we're getting to a resistance area. Yes, we're above the 0 line, but also we are coming at a resistance. So once again, this is not a confirmed breakout or anything like that. We're getting a resistance, and we can't long resistances even if we're getting above the 0 line. Something important about the 0 line, it is that we can flip around in here. We have a very short-lived bullish run, like for example in this case, where we just go a little bit higher and then roll back downwards. All right, so it's time to be careful, especially with dynamic reactor in here. The only way that we're gonna be looking for a re-entry is gonna be a retracement to your support into your trend line. Let me see if I can draw without losing video. Oh yeah, perfect. I can do that. So basically, going and doing this, having a rejection, coming back down, some support, having a flip of the ribbon, and then off we go to the next target. And look at that, we actually have a target at 229, and that is because if this does not retrace and this keep pushing, well, there is no way to actually jump in within just one single candle. One candle doesn't tell you anything. A group of candles give you a little bit of more detail. And on the 4 hours at least, if we have that big candle in here going upwards, well, then there's nothing to do here until we have the retracement on dynamic reactor, and then off you go to take on target number 1 in here. If you really are itching for a trade on Solana, for example, you can go into a lower time frame. Let's go to 30 minutes. And here's where things get a little bit fussy, right? I mean, yes, we have more structure, but look at the candles that we have in here, right? I mean, let me just Control-C this. Perfect. And this is not giving me much of a structure. It is just a bit moving, right? So the one thing that we're going to be looking for, it is the same thing at the 4 hours. Our oscillator, we're looking for that flip of the ribbon right here, and that as we're moving upwards, we might be able to be crossing over, and that is going to be our entry long for the next TP1. Be aware that we could be doing this, all right? So we could be going up and then falling back down strongly to get the support or to get where your dynamic reactor is at. So this is showing at least not too much strength, and then you can see it here. We even had much strength in here, as you can see, right? Bigger candles on the 30 minutes, not tiny itty flimsy candles. And then even like that, with this rising pattern, well, we have a breakdown to dynamic reactor. Breakdown to, well, at this point, fair value gap. Fair value gap area is going to be somewhere around here. And if we bring up predictive ranges, there we go. Golden line at the fair value gap. And if we bring support and resistances, let me see if I can bring that up. Well, not much. Oh, there it is. Well, we don't have anything in the middle, so we might be able to be, we need to be a little bit careful, because in this case, we could maybe do something like that, some ranging in here before a continuation. So far, for me, I would say to wait up, and then your first possible area of entry is going to be looking at this high order block, but it's very close to 50-50, not that far away, just a 10% difference, which means we could get also a lower high. So not looking that great for Solana. Again, I'd rather have more confirmation, because right here we are for coming to trade, right? Not to gamble. And at least for my style, this is too much risk for the output value that we might get out of it. But yeah, that's what I got on Solana.
Yeah, perfect. And if you, Ozzy, if you want to check out Sui and ETH, make sure you tune into OC Guy tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He's doing the trade. Well, I guess it's pretty early in the morning for you, because it's midnight there right now. But yeah, make sure you check it out in the morning. He'll be doing it live tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Trade setups with OC Guy. So appreciate you, OC. You're awesome, dude. You rock.
Thank you, my friend.
All right, that's I think that's it, guys. I think I'm gonna bring this up here. There we go. DDT is gone, so appreciate him coming in here today. That was pretty awesome. We were able to get a good layout there, what actually happened. Let me make myself normal again. There we go. We're back to normal. We're back. But yeah, I appreciate you guys all coming in here today, giving us a little bit of time to try to get this thing working on both ends with the YouTube and the Discord, and we'll get it figured out. But I think this is better for everybody. People that are members aren't able to. They're not in the Discord. There's a lot of you guys out there on YouTube right now watching this that are not in our Discord, and your membership, if you're watching it live, you've paid the price to get full access to the Discord. There's no other levels in there. This is it. This is what you get for it. The DCA levels, this type of stuff every Monday. So come on in and join us over at the Discord. It's a great time over there. Plus, JR always dropping some great trade setups and stuff. And yeah, you guys are missing out if you're not over in the Discord also. Jer, I've already told you. I know that you have different email addresses that you're using for YouTube and Discord. If you come in, we will give you YouTube perk access, and you'll get access to everything too. You just gotta message me when you get over there, man. Open up a trouble ticket when you get there, and we'll get you set up. So, yeah, that's about it, man. OC, you got anything for people on the way out, bro?
Not much. Just click that like button, guys. And remember to sign up to Discord because if you're watching this, well, you already have access. As Piper mentioned, don't let this go because you have a lot of things, especially the Piper plan. So regardless, also my friend, who is it? Aussie. If you're looking to trade, first start looking to the DCA plan. It's gonna be the not the bare bones, man. Now you kind of like messes my brain up. Not used to that. Sorry, I have duplicated audio. It's gonna be the foundation of your financial freedom. All right, so go check that out. Instead of going the right way to do it, it is have a compound saving account, and then out of those gains, you get your trading account. Therefore, you feed back your compound savings account. So, other than that, have a great rest of your day, guys. No audio at the moment.
Of course not. Shout out to SOI Quest. Shout out to JR, Baba Yaz, Little Fish, Alexander G, everybody that's in here. Jay Violet. We got everybody. Darren Does Things dropped in. Ozzy, Little Fish, username. Appreciate all of you guys. And then over on YouTube, Lunar Beaches Crypto. Let me drop some LBCs here for them. There we go. A little bit of LBC love for Lunar Beaches there in our YouTube. So I appreciate all of you guys. K Diggity. Appreciate you, man. Guys, have a good one, and we'll be back here next Monday, breaking it all down for you again. Be watching in the Discord. I'll drop that link for the updated members-only video from Into the Cryptoverse. That's going to be dropped in the members chat here in about 5 minutes. Appreciate you guys. Have a great one.